Hello, everybody. This is Renee from the Let's Be Real channel, where, sometimes the truth hurts. Here I got an image of the Vietnam War. Now, this is what's going on. Veterans these days are looked upon as heroes, okay? Veterans these days have been created or actually made into heroes by media hype and movies. Okay? This was wrong on the part of the media to paint American soldiers, American servicemen as heroes. They were actually trying to, in my opinion, help out the military so that what happened in Vietnam would not happen again, okay? Because, after all, in Vietnam, we invaded a poor country for no goddamn reason. I mean, they had their reasons, but they're bogus. And the same thing goes for Iraq and Afghanistan. We invaded these poor countries for no goddamn reason. And don't tell me about weapons of mass destruction or because Osama bin Laden was in Afghanistan, because he wasn't. Okay, let's not get into that there right now, though. The media worked really, really hard to make our soldiers and Marines, Navy men, Air Force personnel look like heroes. They had to gain support for the war. Because let me tell you something, people. I've researched the Vietnam War, plus my uncle served in the Vietnam War. He wasn't drafted, because back then they actually had to draft people to go to the Vietnam War. He was already serving in the Army when he was deployed to Vietnam, reassigned to Vietnam. In Vietnam, dude, there was no fucking stolen valor being talked about. Because you know why? Do your research for you dumbasses. American soldiers, the military was fucking hated during Vietnam. Detest. We're talking about the Woodstock era. We're talking about the hippie generation era. Okay? We're talking about the free love era. Okay? They fucking hated you veterans. They spat on you when you came home. They handed you bags of dog shit when you got off the planes. Okay? They called you baby killers. And you know what? Everybody hated the veterans and the war itself. The media didn't support you. The public didn't support you. Even the most right-wing fucking, conservative motherfucker there was did not support you. It was a war costing serious money that we were losing and eventually had to abandon really, really fucking badly, okay? We left in a fucked up situation. We just kind of just dropped everything and left. All right. Now, let's talk about stolen valor back then. It didn't exist. You had veterans themselves who were drafted and wounded and sent back to the United States. They hated the fact that they were in the Army. Okay? People wore uniforms back then, whether they served or not, and nobody gave a shit. Sometimes they wore uniforms with peace symbols on them. They used to just wear variations of Army uniforms just to mock the Army, just to mock military personnel. Okay? Because they hated you. Nobody gave a shit if you served back then. If you were walking down the streets in the Vietnam era talking about, hey, I served in the military, I'm a veteran, you were spat upon. Okay? You weren't treated as a hero. You'd keep your goddamn mouth shut about shit like that because nobody liked you back then. Okay? Now, the reason why the media decided to to create such great support for the veterans of these recent wars is because they didn't want this to happen all over again. They did not want public support to go south. Okay? They wanted to keep that motivation up. Support our military. They're heroes. They're fighting for us. They're not fighting for freedom for us for nothing. They were fighting for oil. They were fighting for many different reasons, okay? Everybody knows now, okay? So, you veterans who think you're badass heroes because the media hyped you up, and you come back here and you want to bully people because they're wearing army shirts or because they're actually trying to support you or whatever, you know, and you're pointing your finger at them and saying stolen valor and trying to beat them up and bullying people, you should be ashamed of yourselves, man. Okay? Because if you have it in your mind that you're a hero because you're a veteran, you need to get that shit right the fuck out of your head. Okay? Because nobody around wants to hear a veteran brag about what the fuck he did in a war. Okay? Nobody wants to hear that shit. You served, fine, great. Thanks for your service. That's all you can say nowadays. But don't become a bully about it. Don't be going out investigating people saying, oh, this person said they served and they didn't, so now I gotta kick their ass. Or now I gotta track them down and expose them publicly. Man, kiss my ass. Okay? Because the only reason, like I said, you were supported was because the media supported you. You do not have the right to beat the shit out of citizens because you think they're in violation of stolen valor. You do not have the right to walk around like you're an invincible hero because you served in the military. Get your heads right, idiots.